Yo, what's good everybody? It's your girlfriend Trinella here, and today I'm back learning Spain region guessing in Geoguessr. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Alright. I see these blue and yellow poles, and we see like yellow on the side of the license plate. So I'm sure this indicates something, but I don't know yet because I don't really know many Spain metas. I think I only know like the Extremadura Bollard and the EX on the Bollard. Being in this region. So I'm gonna go up here near like the Pyrenees, sure. Okay, so we're in the complete opposite side. So this was the Sierra Nevada. So the mountain range of Sierra Nevada features snowy peaks through the months of November and May. Sierra Nevada is the only mountain range in South Spain with snow during most of the year. Okay. All right. So no like bollards visible, but we see a stop sign, a bunch of trees, so maybe it's like some sort of like forest slash vegetation meta, like a lot of red leaves fallen. Do I have a good region guess? Not really as of this moment, but maybe it's some like regional national park or whatever. I'll go here near this regional park. These were eucalyptus plantations. So all throughout the north coast of Spain, you will find eucalyptus plantations looking like this. Galicia has more plantations than the rest of the north combined. Eucalyptus plantations are also extremely common in Portugal. Okay, so kind of like this northern corner here. Okay, we have this like red sign here. License plate. The blue sign with the red. 2025 copyright coverage, is that? I feel like it's like hard to see copyright coverage. Maybe like the circle or like the style of like roofs is the meta here, or whatever the city is in the back. I don't recognize it, unfortunately. I'm going to go near Salamanca and it'll tell us where we are. Okay, well, this was near Barcelona, but in Martorelles, so Gual permanent. No parking signs. In Catalan speaking areas will read. Wait, hold on. I think I'm reading that wrong. No parking signs, not like no parking signs. So, no parking signs in Catalan speaking areas will read Gual permanent. Most municipalities use Gual in Catalonia and the Balearic Islands, while it's most common to find a mix of the Spanish and Catalan signs in Valencia. Okay. So if we see Gual on the sign, we're gonna guess up here in this corner. Ooh. Would I go Spain here? I've never seen a truck in Spain, so this is interesting. We have a bunch of trees. I wonder if it's one of like the islands off of Spain ever, because I've literally never seen this truck in the game, but it also could just be really rare. What kinds of trees are these? I don't know. I feel like this is an island meta though. I'm gonna go in like Palma. I feel like this is like really far off, but for some reason I feel like it's not like here in Spain. Okay, no, we were in Spain, but we were just in a national park car, which I've never seen before, so this is cool to learn. This is the Doñana National Park car. So in Doñana National Park, southwest of Seville, you will find this rare and unique car meta. Okay. Southwest of Seville, Doñana. Okay. We have two city names here, but I feel like that is not the meta. Maybe it's the shape slash color of the trash bins. We have like a red, a yellow, and a green. That could be unique here. It low-key looks like a little bit... I don't know. For some reason I want to say maybe near like the French border. I'm gonna go near like Pamplona. Like I feel like... I don't know how to describe like the architecture I'm seeing, but I feel like it could be maybe near France. Okay, so we were all the way on the opposite side, but at least along the top. These are slate roofs. So there's a large part of northwest Spain where you will find almost exclusively slate roofs, recognizable by their almost black color. This type of roofing can be seen sparingly all the way to the coast of Galicia, but ends rather abruptly on the east. Slate roofs can also be found in the Pyrenees near Andorra and in the mountain ranges northeast of Madrid. Okay. All right, we got 2.7K. Not a great score, but we are learning, so we're going to keep going and see how many metas we can learn today. Okay, we have these rock walls here, which maybe that is a meta, because I know, like, in Sweden region guessing, like, the rock walls were in, like, a certain part of Sweden. We have these arrows, big hills, kind of mountains in the back, this tree, which seems to have been cut down or not in bloom. We have like orange or red roofed houses. I'll go like here, like near Madrid. I don't really have a good idea yet, but I think this is a new meta. Okay, so this was in Palma. So these are the infamous low rock walls. So this is something I think we can remember. Low rock walls are extremely common on the Balearic Islands. They also appear in Spain, so use other clues in general buy before guessing. Another Mediterranean region with a similar amount of rock walls is the area around Bari in Italy. This region can sometimes look similar to the Balearic Islands. Okay. Infamous low rock walls. Okay. We have a bunch of like rocks in the middle of this field, but we have mountains nearby. This pole top, which maybe that is the meta, because I don't know this pole top. It kind of looks like a boomerang and then like a coat hanger on top of the boomerang. Maybe the bollard is unique too. I feel like that doesn't seem super familiar to me. They're like white and blocky. Could this be one of the islands? I don't know. I'm gonna go near Murcia. Okay, we were further north. These were Aragon bollards. So in Aragon, it is common to see this bollard design on regional roads. It has a simple design consisting of a short, flat, rectangular white stick with a gray reflector on both sides. There are similar bollards in other regions, but they appear much less frequently than in Aragon. Okay, so Aragon's kind of like this section here. Okay. Okay, we have signs here. It says stop. Okay. I can't read that sign in the back. Is this ever like one of the metas up here, like Catalanian language? Okay, nope. Just not right. So it was the white painted houses. So within the center and south of Spain, towns made completely of, or at least 80% out of white painted houses are very common in Andalusia and Extremadura. You can still see a fair amount of white painted houses in Castilla-La Mancha, but streets where every house is white will not be common. Okay, white painted houses, more common in the south. All right, we have the classic like 8 lines on the crosswalk sign. We have a sign that says Becerra, 18 away, but I don't want to like look for the city because that is not really like the meta that's going to help me here. I see this blue sign that says L something dash P, so maybe L something stands for like a certain region of Spain. I know EX is Extremadura, but I don't know the other region like codes yet for Spain. So I feel like that is going to be it. I'm going to go near Logroño, and I think it'll tell us what the meta is. Okay, so it's just a slate roof meta again, but maybe we'll learn what the L something like region code was in a different meta. Okay, we have Rua, which feels... Does that feel not Spanish ever? Does that feel Portuguese? Rua da Violina. It feels not just Spanish, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna go near Badajoz. Okay, we were more north in Galicia, so Rua. Streets are commonly called Rua in Galicia, whereas in Portugal they are called Rua without an accent. Okay, So if I see Rua with the accent, that means I'm in Galicia. Rua without the accent, probably in Portugal. Okay. All right, we got 4,000, so almost double our last score. Looks like we're improving. Let's keep learning. All right, we have these rock walls, which is a meta we learned. The infamous low rock walls are in Palma. Okay, nice. So this was a meta we remembered. This was the infamous low rock walls. Low rock walls are extremely common on the Balearic Islands. They also appear in Spain, so use other clues and general vibe before guessing. Okay. All right, this one says LU-something. So I'm hoping this is a region guessing meta that we'll be able to learn. LU. I'm gonna go up here because I feel like the last meta in the town we saw with like the slate roofs had a sign that said L something dash something. So maybe it was LU or maybe it was something else, but maybe it's near Lugo. Maybe that's what it stands for. Okay. Honestly, we kind of cooked there. It doesn't show us the region meta, so I guess like that wasn't what it's listed here, but maybe we are onto something and it'll be explained later. So this is green and lush landscape. So the landscape in the far north is much more green and lush than the rest of Spain. The landscape is generally quite hilly. Hedges and green meadows are common. In some places, this region's landscape bears a vague resemblance to Ireland, France, and the UK. Okay. Okay, this seems like a big city. Calle. I feel like there's a lot of information here to take in. I don't know any trash bin metas, so maybe that is a meta here. Or maybe it's just like being able to recognize like a city. Blue strip on the license plate. We're kind of on like a very like downward hill. Maybe it's an area code meta. I'm not sure what the meta is here. I'm gonna go near Lleida and we'll find out where we are. Okay, we were near Bilbao, or near, I mean in Bilbao. So Calella. So streets in Basque speaking areas are sometimes called Calella. However, Spanish calle is also still common. Okay, so Basque speaking areas, Calella up here, and then we have like the Catalonian language over here, and then Galician, I think language is called, over here on the left. Lots of languages in Spain. Stop sign. And like some sort of like vineyard or plant being grown here. White outer lines with nothing like dashed or broken. Maybe the type of plant being grown is the meta here. Is this ever like wine being grown? Not wine. Grapes? I don't really know what grape like looks like when it's being grown. A pile of bricks. Big mountain. I'm gonna go over here near Oropesa. Okay, not bad. So these were olive trees, so I think that's close enough to a grape, right? We're kind of onto something. Olive trees are one of the main crops planted in Spain. They can be commonly seen in more than half of the country. Okay, and we're kind of in that big red circle that is indicated here on the map, so not bad. Okay. Okay, so we see a doe, which I think makes me think we're near Portugal border. So maybe we're in Galicia. Geographico National. It says something at the top, but it is in smaller text that I cannot read. I feel like because I see DO, I want to go up here near the Portugal border at the top. Okay, I think it's showing us a meta about the slate roofs again, which I keep forgetting every time, but we're kind of getting very close region guessing, so maybe the clues that it's not showing me are clues that like I'm understanding, like even though it's not explicitly telling me. So maybe I did get the language thing right, but we at least had the right logic of going going along the top of the Portugal border. Okay. All right, 17K is a vast improvement on our first 2 tries. Let's keep going. Okay, we have these like bollard things on the side of the street here. We have a big like palm tree in the middle. A lot of green and white architecture, which maybe that is indicative of a certain area. Someone on a motorcycle. A lot of white architecture. I think we had that one. It was in like, was it ever in like the southern part mostly of Spain? This also feels like it could be one of the islands off of Spain, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna go near Seville. Okay. Honestly, we really cooked there. So I identified the correct meta, that it was the white painted houses meta, and we got a really good score. I'll take 4.4K for sure. We're kind of just outside of Seville in a town called Sanlúcar la Mayor. Okay. Oh, I don't know if I'd guess Spain here if I didn't know we were playing a Spain-only map, so this is interesting. Maybe it's an area code meta, 696. We don't have any pole tops that we recognize. This is like one of like the triangle ones at the top. And then 2 car sign with a lot of like slashes going through it. Are these ever... It's like a vegetation meta probably, right? Maybe here? Okay, nice. So these were vineyards. So this time it was grapes being grown into wine. Castilla-La Mancha can have completely flat landscapes, which are not that common in Castilla y León. Half of Spain's wine is produced in this region, so vineyards are fairly common. In the western provinces of Ciudad Real and Toledo, it is very common to see olive tree plantations, generally in flatter ground than those found in Andalusia. Okay. All right, we have Spanish bollards here. So that might be the meta, although we kind of know that already. Okay, so this pole top is interesting. It's kind of got like a boxy thing going on under like the main pole. So that could be it. This one is also like a little bit over, but I think it might just be like a train track thing now that I'm looking at both of them because they're above train tracks. So that might not be the meta. Is it these like... No, these are just like normal Spain bollards, not those other like white bollards we saw. We're in someplace mountainous with a lot of clouds, but they don't show clouds on the map because clouds are always moving. I don't know. For some reason, I want to go north, maybe near Alfaro. Okay, we could have been closer. So this was Castilla y León. So the center of Castilla y León features a mostly flat agricultural landscape with only slight changes in elevation. Most of the fields will have cereal crops like wheat and barley, and it's fairly common to find sunflower plantations. Ooh, I want to see the sunflower plantation meta if it shows up. Okay, we have rock walls, but I feel like that's just to keep in the plant being grown. I don't know, is this like an olive or grape tree, bush? I don't know what you call it. But I think this is a vegetation meta, not a rock wall meta. But I do see a lot of rock walls, so do I ever just go for it here? Okay, so rock wall's telling me over here, but I think the vegetation is showing me in here more in my head, so I'm gonna go near Talavera de la Reina. Okay. It was an olive tree, so it was not a grape tree, grape bush, whatever it is called. Olive trees are one of the main crops planted in Spain. They can be commonly seen in more than half the country. Okay, so commonly over here and a little bit here, but they can be found all over. So as long as I'm not guessing like up here in the northeast when I see an olive tree, then we should be okay. Big sandy, like dune hill. Near water, concrete barriers. I feel like this is one of the islands. I don't know which one. I'm gonna go in Palma, but I think it'll tell us where we are. I feel like we're not in, like, mainland Spain. Okay, this makes sense. We were in Las Palmas, and these were Las Palmas bollards, which it is not showing us. Let me see if it... Okay, perfect. We extended it out. Las Palmas bollard. So this unique bollard design is extremely common in the province of Las Palmas, which includes the islands of Gran Canaria, Fuerteventura, and Lanzarote. It features a more square and orange reflector on the front compared to the standard Spanish bollard design. There is a white reflector on the back instead of 2 dots as standard bollards. This bollard can also be found in mainland Spain in the provinces of Lleida and Tarragona. The province of Santa Cruz de Tenerife, which includes the islands of Tenerife, La Gomera, El Hierro, and La Palma, only uses bollards on highways with a standard Spanish design. Okay, so we had the right idea that it was an island not on the mainland of Spain, but it was the wrong one. We were here in Las Palmas. Okay. All right, we got 12K, not bad. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, we have these trees which are interesting. Rua with a U. Okay, it says Rua with a dash above the U, which is not Portuguese, it's Galician, I think it's called. So somewhere above the Portugal border, because Rua with just like the... without the accent would be Portugal, but obviously it's a Spain only map, so we're only guessing in Spain. So I think it's somewhere in this region of Spain. All right, we'll definitely take it. We were in the right region. It was the right meta that I identified, the language meta in Galicia, whereas in Portugal, they're called Rua without the accent. Okay, I'm proud that we memorized that one. Okay, so these are something being grown. Are these ever olive trees, which are kind of everywhere? So I'm gonna just like plonk it here in the middle where a lot of them grow. Okay, not bad. So we correctly identified the right meta slash plant. They were olive trees, and they are kind of in this like giant red circle here, but they're also grown all over. So not the most like region guessing meta, but helpful for like identifying the country, I think. Okay, we have a white bollard here. Does it have any design on the other side? I don't really see it, but we have these large rolling hills, which is it ever... I feel like near Leon, like I feel like I remember one of the metas of the landscape being large rolling hills are kind of like up here. Okay, no. Oh, it was an Aragon bollard. Okay, so in Aragon, it is common to see this bollard design on regional roads. It has a simple design consisting of a short, flat, rectangular white stick with a gray reflector on both sides. There are similar bollards in other regions, but they appear much less frequently. Okay. Okay, we have a sign here. We have this rock wall, but it's not a low rock wall. I think it's an olive tree, like vegetation meta perhaps, and somewhere kind of mountainous. A lot of olives here, and then also up here. I'm gonna go here, near Amaraz. Okay, so we did identify that they were olive trees, but it was a different olive tree meta. These were olive trees East Coast. So olive plantations on the East Coast are commonly fenced or behind rock walls, and you will almost always see mountain in some direction. Okay. We have bollards, 2 white dots, and 1 yellow. A little bit like wedge-shaped at the top, perhaps. We have a lot of like red-orange, like tufts of grass, a big like area of something being grown here, something vaguely like flat here, but then mountainous in the back. I think these are mainland Spain bollards. I don't think we're in one of the islands. I think this is something being grown. Is it wine ever? So I'm gonna go near Talavera de la Reina. Okay, I think this was a good region guess. We identified that they were vineyards, so Castilla-La Mancha can have completely flat landscapes, which are not that common in Castilla y León. Half of Spain's wine is produced in this region, so vineyards are fairly common. Okay, we got a pretty good region guess there. I could have been a little bit further southeast of where I guess, but honestly, 3.6 is pretty good, so we'll take it. All right, we got 11.8k there. I'm going to play this map one more time, and we'll call it a day. We have L something, which is probably like a route thing, right? We have orange squares on these bollards, but the bollards are like chopped in half, which is weird. Is this ever... No, I don't know what this meta is, but this one is chopped in half, but I don't know if that's because it's along the guardrail, and maybe that is something specific. I feel like this flag peeking out is supposed to tell me something, but I don't know what this flag is. I think it's for a particular region of Spain. I'm going to go near Pamplona, and we'll see where we are, because I think this is a new meta, so hopefully I haven't had it already. Okay, so I think this is a new meta. So this was a Canary bollard on mainland. So within mainland Spain, this bollard is almost exclusive to the provinces of Lleida and Tarragona in Catalonia, which is like up here. And it features a more square and orange reflector on the front compared to the standard Spanish bollard design. So I kind of talked about that earlier. I was like, it kind of looks like the island one, but it didn't feel like island vibes. So there's a white reflector on the back instead of the two dots. Some toll highways like the AP6 also use this design, and this bollard can also be found in the Canary Islands. Okay, not horrible. Coruña, Santiago. Okay. What is the meta I'm supposed to identify here? Maybe it's something about the street sign. I don't notice anything particularly like popping out at me that it says. Maybe the DA. What does that feel like? Because I feel like if I like look hard enough, I could find where the cities on the sign are, but I think I should go with my instinct because I want to learn what the meta is without being able to just like, look for a city name. I don't want to rely on just like the information I can find in moving, if that makes sense. Like if I'm able to see like the meta from not moving, then I'll be able to improve my no move and no move hand zoom skills as well as my moving ability. So I'm going to go here. Okay, so we were in the right region. So it was a Galician language, which I think I'm learning a lot today. Like I have to be able to recognize the differences between Spanish, Catalan, Basque, and Galician. So Galician is a Romance language that is closely related to Portuguese, so the DA, I think, tipped me off that way. It is unsurprisingly spoken in Galicia. Compared to Catalan, it is less dominant, meaning you will still find a lot of Spanish-only signs in this region. Galician can look very similar to Portuguese. Some ways to tell them apart is the use of ñ and the lack of the C with a CD. Is it called a CD in Spanish language also? Or in Galician language? I don't know. But I think in French, when it has like the little like almost looking like a 5 number under the C, it's called a CD. And the lack of the CD or whatever symbol it is in Galician. I'll throw it up on the screen if it has a different name, but if it is the CD, then like, hey, props to me. Okay, but this is like a language meta, so we do find that pretty cool. Oh, that's a lot of reading, and I'm not fluent in Spanish, so I will not read it, or Galician. Okay, so this is a flag, which we had a couple of rounds ago, but it was like more in a forest, I think. But I don't remember what flag it is, so Carrère Saint-Benet. Saint-Benet, le... Maybe I want to say this feels like Catalonian if I had to take a guess. I'm not sure. I feel like this is going to be some sort of language meta, like not Spanish language meta, and I might not get it right. Like maybe it's like Basque, but it feels like maybe it has closer similarities to French in some of these, like the spellings of how I'm like reading these words. I know that there's like these flags all over, but I have no idea what they are. Like if it's like a sports team or a region of Spain or something. I'm going to go here and we'll see what it is. Okay, so I think I correctly identified that we were reading Catalonian, so it wasn't just like Spanish, but this is the Catalan independence flag. So the Catalan independence flag is not official, but it is commonly found in Catalan-speaking areas. It uses the red and yellow striped senyera pattern that is also used in 4 of the autonomous community flags. Okay, so this one we can remember. It's yellow and red stripes, and then it has a blue triangle and a white star. Catalan independence flag. Okay, we have these bollards with like the white square, I think, on the back and not the dots. So, sorts. Is that ever... Are we ever like close to Andorra, maybe? I think this reminds me of those like island bollards. But it doesn't feel like island vibes to me. And I remember that the island bollards also exist in like a very small part of, I think it was Catalonia, but I'm not entirely sure. But it was somewhere in mainland Spain, like up here at least, in like the northeast. I'm gonna go near the Andorra border because I feel like we're not in an island, but it looks like one of the island bollards, so I'm gonna go here. All right, perf. We identified the correct meta, that it was the bollard that felt like the Canary Islands bollard, but it was on the mainland. So within mainland Spain, this bollard is almost exclusive to the provinces of Lleida and Tarragona in Catalonia. Okay, and I think we got the kind of right area. We got 4.4K, which is pretty good. We'll take it. This, I think, is a new meta. There is like red-orange reflectors in the guardrails. I can't tell exactly which of the two. The camera quality is interesting. I don't think we've had this round yet in the meta learning video for today. We have these like really like puffy trees. So maybe this is the meta, like a rocky mountainous area with really puffy trees. Where is somewhere we haven't had a lot of metas yet? Like maybe this national park up here. I feel like we haven't had any there. Maybe this national park. I don't know where we are, but we haven't had this one yet, so I'm gonna guess where I have it plonked in the national park, Sierra de Cebollera, and we'll see where we are and we'll learn a new meta for the day. Okay, well, I think that's like the furthest I could have been on this map because it was Spain only. But this was Canary's diverse landscape, so kind of just like learning the vibes of the different islands. So the Canaries have extremely diverse landscapes, including steep mountains, pine forests, volcanic soil, and extreme aridity. Wow, that is like everything all within these couple of islands here. You can also encounter more normal landscapes that can look more like mainland Spain. Because of its diversity, it's hard to pin down the average landscape in the Canaries. More useful strategies to focus on whether it looks unique and unlike anything you would find in mainland Europe. If meta matches with Spain but something is off in terms of the vibe, consider the Canaries. Okay. Yeah. Wow, these are like 4 completely different vibes and like pictures, and I'm really surprised they're all within these same islands here. So that is something that I will keep in mind should I ever see that in the future. So that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video of me learning Spain region guessing metas in Geoguessr. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments. Also tell me what other Spain region guessing metas I should study, specifically like things with the languages or maybe like the regions on the bollards and signs, because I know like EX is Extremadura, but nothing really came up with like the other regions. And that one I knew in advance because I wrote it into a song that probably has come out already by this point, The Life of a Moving Man. So shout out to that song if you're seeing that or if you're hearing this. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much again for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to French Vanilla and have a great day.